All right, folks. So last time we had made this wall. This is the back wall, and we had left an opening for the sliding glass door that is going to go in there. So we're about to work on that. And we need to make another frame for that. So we're going to have to start another assembly. It'll be pretty easy. Actually, before we do that, we're going to need another header. So scroll through until you find your headers in a tab. And we're going to need our header, a big long one for this. So we're going to extrude. I had happened to leave sketch 1 on. If it's not, you go turn it on. We've made a whole bunch of rectangles. So we're going to extrude another one and flip it the other direction. And we're going to go, it's a 72-inch rough opening, which means we need to go 72 plus the 1.5 inch plus the 1.5 inch jack studs. So we're going 75 inches long. There we go. And we are going to assign that the same. I always forget which one it is. Yeah. So I'm going to assign it this, or edit the appearance and make it the same color as the rest of my stuff. And I'm going to rename it and call it header 72. Even though it's 75 inches long, the rough opening is 72 slider for a sliding glass door. All right. Now we can go ahead and make our frame. So go ahead and code the little plus on the bottom, go to create assembly. We're going to do what we've done with all our other frames. We're going to insert. Let's go into headers, and I'm going to put in that 72 slider header. Let's go to our studs and put in 2 jack studs and a king stud, meaning the stud 92. And that is actually all we need. All right, now in an assembly, it's always a good idea. I'm going to take this board and just sort of flip it around like this, just so I can see it a little better. And it is a good idea to fix something in place. Now it makes sense to hold the header in place. So we're going to come over to this header in the browser, right click and say fix. That way things won't move around on us. Now, let's go ahead and we're going to put this king stud, making sure it is the longer one. Let's hover over that to make sure, against the side of the header. So our fasten mate, I'm not going to talk to you about how to use these because you know by now. And we're doing that to that. Okay, looks good. Didn't need to flip anything. And we've got a jack stud that's going to go into here. Fasten mate is still open. So I'm going to go there to here. Things are great. I don't need to flip anything. And one more jack stud over here, which is going to go here to there. All right, so we've got our frame. We've got jack studs holding up the header and a king stud on one side. Good deal. Let's rename that. Right now it's called Assembly 1. Let's move me out of the way. Let's rename that and call it Slider Frame 72. All right. Now let's find our way back to the back wall, and we're going to insert that frame that we just made. We're going to insert assemblies. I always forget to go there. Somewhere in here is our slider frame 72. It's not done generating the preview, but and there it is. We might need to spin it around. Before we do that, don't forget to group things. Helps hold everything together. So group the slider frame. Good. Now nothing will move around. And I am going to, if you have to move it around, go ahead and do that to make sure it's kind of in the same orientation that you want so you can see. Do our fasten mate. Bottom corner. Zoom, zoom. And is it in the right spot? Yes. And we did remove the right number of studs that first time we went through. Looking good. Now, if this was a real thing, we'd, again, cut out this piece, but in the virtual world, that's actually would take us more time than getting a handsaw in the real world and sawing that out. All right, we're ready to put that in, and then we've got all our exterior walls. Now, remember, this is the left end of the wall looking to the back of the house, okay? So we're going to go to our main assembly, which I'm going to have to expand here to find my house assembly. There it is. Okay. Sometimes this little manager helps out a little bit. And I'm going to just go around to the back of the house. So I'm looking at the back, spin it around, and now insert assemblies, the back wall here. Now, before I do anything with it, I'm going to group back wall. Good. That way I can move things around whatever way I want it. Nope, that's the wrong way. Remember, we're looking at the left. So there's going to be a shower over here. I'll show you this in just a second. But this is the orientation it should go when looking at the back of the house, that this 40-inch window is on the left, then the slider, then the 48-inch window, and finally this little bathroom window. All right, we're ready to put this on. Make sure you choose corners carefully. We're going to do a fasten mate that corner down there. Only I want the blue sticking towards me. Otherwise, I'll have to flip it around. And, oh, did I choose the top or the bottom? I don't remember. I might have to do that again. Click. Good. I got the right thing. Excellent. Look at that. We've got a house with all the exterior walls done. Very cool. Okay, I want to just show you. You don't have this picture. I do in mine, though. So here's the floor plan. So we've got the house with, just click that just so it's maybe a little easier to see. So we've got a bedroom with a 48-inch window here. Then there's no windows because it's just a closet and such for the rest of the whole wall. Our front had a bedroom window here, a bathroom window here, a bedroom window here. So we had a 40-inch window, 24-inch high window above the bathtub, 40-inch. We've got our 36-inch door here and a big 48-inch window over here. Our right wall had a little window. Now the garage sticks out over here. That's not shown in this floor plan, so that's why there's no other windows here. We have a door going into the garage. Nothing else. And then we have the back wall that has a little window over the sink. We put a slider in the bedroom. It's a little hard, or in the dining room. It might not have even called for that. It might have called for a regular door, but we put a slider in there so we can look out over the deck. A big 48-inch window in the bedroom, and then over the shower in the master bath is a little 24-inch window that's kind of high. All right, we're looking good. Now, our ranch house has a patio going all the way across the front. There's also one on the back. When we look at the floor plan that I've showed you just this part before, there's a covered porch on the front that's 4 feet deep, and on the back, this plan says 5. We're going to make that 6 feet deep in the back. So what we have to do is we have to make these posts, and they're important because they actually hold up the roof. So they are structural. They need to be structurally sound. That's important. And we're going to make those in that pattern. Now, if we were really designing a house, we'd want to make sure that there's posts centered around the doors because it looks good that way. Plus you don't want to have to go kind of sideways to get into the house. So we're going to do this little bit of a cheater way, and we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to make a straight across pattern. Every 6 feet, we will put a post. So let's get started on that. And here we go. What we're going to start with is to make some piers that are similar to what you see here. In fact, it'll be the same 22 inches sticking up and same 8-inch thick footing, but they're smaller. They're going to be like a 16-inch round disc footing that another 8-inch or so column of concrete comes from, and then the structure will be on top of that. So we're going to make a new part studio for this. And let's sketch on the top plane. P gets rid of planes, N means we're facing normal to it. All right, now let's go ahead and start on this origin point. That's fine. And we're going to make a disc down here that is 16 inches in diameter. All right. So we got a 16-inch diameter, and we are going to finish that and extrude it to 8 inches. Now, it would be really nice if we made that the same color as the rest of the concrete. So let's go back to remember our original part studio where we built this? I'm going to take a look at my foundation, go edit appearance just to see which one I made. It was that one right there. So you might have done something different. I'll go back into what I was just working on, which was called Part Studio 1 because I haven't renamed it yet. Where are you? There we go. Nope. It's not Part Studio 1 because that's Part Studio 1. Come on, where'd you go? Fine, I'll go through this and see what was I just working on. Part Studio 2, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna edit the appearance of that. Actually, I'll wait a little bit because I'll have more parts that I can choose from. All right, now I'm going to sketch on top of this and to view normal. And I am again going to draw a circle and again attach it to that center point that is 8. Finish that, and we're going to extrude that to 22 inches. Now make sure it says add up here, so it will be part of that same piece that we just had. Good. Now we're going to make a new part, and we're going to make it the same color as our lumber. I'm going to make another sketch on top of this. Now, before I do this, I'm going to pause my own video. I need to do a little calculation here and see how high does it need to be to where that roof is going to be supported. So I'm going to have a 4x4 post that is going to be the distance from, since it's the same size as this, from there to the top of that, minus whatever the header is going to be. So let's measure that thing from here to, it's a little hard to see this, that line right there. Minimum distance is 120 inches. So that's a nice clean number. That's 10 feet. All right. But we're going to subtract out the length of that, or the width of that header from there to there, which is, no, that's not 384 inches. Let me try that again. No. Why are you giving me, okay, stop it. I don't want to select anything here. Let me try that again. I'm going to click out here. All right. Let me try that measure tool again. This time I'll get the 2 spots that I want, that dot and that dot. Okay, it's 11. So it's 120 minus 11 long. All right, here we go. We're back into our, what we were just working on. Art Studio 2. So I've started to sketch on the top of this now, and for normal. Now I'm going to make a, up here, there's a new type of rectangle called center point rectangle. I'm going to choose that one. So I can again hook up to the middle, and we're going to make a 3.5 by 3.5 post. Not 0.35, 3.5, enter 3.5. Don't remember you can also use the dimension tool. Good. All right, now this is going to be a little tricky. Remember that we're going to extrude this to a height of 120 minus 11. That would be 109. Now, I am not going to add it to this because I want it to be a different material. I want it to be a to look like a piece of lumber. This is concrete, but this is a board. So I'm going to make a new part. Good. And this second part, I'm going to edit the appearance to be that same color as my lumber. And I remembered what that color was. So there's one of our posts. The pier is down in the ground. This footing's down in the ground. The concrete sticks up. There would be a bracket that holds this to go up and support the header. Now we're going to go ahead and make the header. Doesn't really matter which side we do. I just feel like I'll go over here to the left. I know I'm on the left because the view cube shows me. I am going to sketch here and use normal. I'm going to make one more rectangle. I'm going to make a corner-to-corner rectangle this time that starts at this corner, and it's going to go, I'm going to click here, and it's going to be 3.5 that way, and 11 the other way. Now, this is really too big of a header if we were really constructing this, but I want to use what we already have. I don't want to have to make more stuff, so we'll go ahead and use that. All right, now we're going to extrude that part, but we're going to go the other way. We're going to go across the top of this, and we're going to go all 42 feet, 42 times 12. 42 asterisk times 12. Okay, and it's okay that we're adding that to that. It's going to be weird that it looks like it's one piece when it really isn't, but that's okay. Okay, now we're going to make a pattern of these others, and we should, if I recall, be able to go every 6 feet, and it will work out just about right. I hope. We'll find out what happens. So if not, I can figure out a solution. So let's do a linear pattern, and we're going to choose. We're going to do a feature pattern, not a part pattern. Okay, because I want to do my first extrusion, my second extrusion, and my third extrusion, but not the others. Now, it might have a problem because this is part of that same thing. We'll see what happens. And the direction, I'm going to choose the direction I want to go is along that line. Yeah, it doesn't like it because this is all part of one piece. It's going to be mad at me. All right, here's how to fix that. Go into Extrude 4, and we're going to make it a new part. Good. But I'm going to go into this part 3, edit appearance, and make it, again, look like lumber. Okay, that'll solve the problem. Now we can go ahead and do a linear pattern. Linear pattern. We're going to do a feature pattern. We're going to choose Extrude 1, Extrude 2, and Extrude 3. The direction, click on direction to choose the line that goes in that direction. We're going to do 7 of them, and our distance will be 72 inches. Now, if it goes the wrong way, which it looks like it's doing, I just flip that arrow, and let's look at the end to see if I got, oh, I need 8. Yeah, that last one is off the end. Okay, I'm gonna think about how to fix this. Here's how to fix it. I just did a little bit of calculating. Instead of 72, we're gonna make it 71.5. And that should, there we go. Move that in so that we are even on the other side. Okay, whew, good thing that all worked out. All right, now this is going to serve as our posts, okay, and serve as structural for where we're going to have a deck on the bottom and everything else. So cool. Let's go ahead and come down to this tab and rename that as what am I going to call this? Let's call it patio frame. Call it patio frame. That'll work. All right. Cool. Now, let's come back to our house assembly, the main assembly that we've been doing. And we are going to insert that assembly that we were just working on. So find your patio frame. Okay, we're going to do this one at a time. Now, this is going to be a little bit tricky, especially when it's kind of showing up down there. All right. Now, what do I got to do? You need to group them, Mr. Klatt. Thank you. Yes, group what we just put in. Okay. Look at all this stuff that's showing up here. So, okay, all these parts, all these parts just came in individually. That's a lot of stuff showing up in my browser. Let me think of a different way to do this. I'm going to undo. And maybe what we'll do is we'll make an assembly out of that. Let's do that. Okay, so we undid that. I know there's a lot of things that were, I'm not perfect. I'm making mistakes as I go along too, but that's okay. We'll fix them together. Let's start a new assembly. We're only going to put one part studio in this assembly. We're going to come in, we're going to put in this patio frame into the assembly. Click. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and just leave this alone. Leave it the way it is. I could move things around, but I don't want to move them around. In fact, we could group them together now. We can select part one, hold the shift button down, select all of them, and just hit group. So we've grouped all of them together. That's good. Now at least we can't accidentally move things around. Good. And let's go ahead and call this assembly. Where am I here? So I'm going to call this patio frame. So it's also the patio frame assembly. So we have a patio frame part studio and a patio frame assembly. That's fine. So now we'll go back to the house. This will just keep our browser a little bit cleaner. Insert, and this time we're going to go to assemblies. Be careful. I know I see it here, but that's part studio. Let's go to assemblies and find patio frame. Put that in there. Okay, don't forget that we're going to group again just to make sure. Group patio frame. Good. Okay. All right, good. Now we're looking okay, and we're ready to go. So we just need one constraint on this, but it's going to be a little bit tricky. Okay, I want you to watch and pay very close attention. What I need for this outside edge, right here, to be exactly 48 inches from this edge. Okay, so watch carefully and make sure you do it right. I'm going to do my fasten mate. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to choose this corner right here. Click. Okay, and I'm going to choose this corner up here, but we're going to offset it in just a second. Click. Okay, now, right now, it's sharing the same spot with that wall. I need to offset it in the negative X direction because X is pointing to my left and I want it to go to my right. So I'm going to go negative 48. Let's see if that goes where I want it to go. It did, and good. All right, so we've got our front framework. We're going to do our back framework and call it a day. Here we go. Let's kind of go to the back here. I don't need another fastened right now, but I do want to insert. Don't forget it's assemblies, patio frame, back. It's a little hard to see, but that's okay. We know what we're doing, right? Okay, I can move it, I guess, if I want. Kind of move it over here. Oops, except I forgot to group. I'm glad it didn't come apart. Group, patio frame 2, good. All right, now it's the same idea. It's the outside edge and the outside edge, right? So I'm going to choose fasten mate. Make sure it's the outside edge. If you don't do this right, it's going to cause big problems later on. And the outside edge. This time I'm going positive X direction offset, and we're going 72 because remember this back patio is wider than the front patio. Enter. Let's make sure it shows where I want it to show. And fantastic. All right, so kind of get your, if you want to turn the land back on so you kind of get to see what this looks like, you can do that. See how these are just kind of sticking up just a little bit because the rest of it's buried in the ground. So you can take the picture like this or the picture with your land off, whatever you want to do. It's getting a little crowded, but that's okay. We're figuring it out with your frames for the patios in place. All right, guys, it's coming together. Guess what? Next time we're going to put the trusses on. We're not going to worry about the interior walls until we've got this whole thing shelled in. All right. Hope it worked out for you. See you next time.